Well, in this video, it's part 2 of solo built shop. I'm kind of doing it traditional style with rafters and beams and posts. If you haven't seen video 1, click in the corner here to check that out. And be sure to stay tuned for part 3. Also, a lot of the video is time-lapse, so if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Thanks. Well, now I gotta figure out how to measure from that point to that point and then make sure it's the same from this point to this point. Now this is 28 feet 1 inch for the plywood. So if it's not that, I'll have to pull it tighter or push it out further and get that trued up. It's been kind of hard to measure by myself, but alright, well, another day. I got up early and started working on it. Got everything square with one another, so it's all exactly 28 and 1/2 inch for plywood. And then through some math, what I did was figure out from the center point to the outside edge, and I wanted a 612 roof, so I did some math, and that's what I got. That height is 78.5. And then I minus the depth of the 2x12, so it's 66.9, 66 7/8, sticking above the top plate. So I put that there, and then the 2x12 is going to go on top of that as a ridge beam. This is the way I'm doing it by myself. And on these ones, I pulled the string really tight across the top, so I know exactly where it's at. I mean, talking real tight. I'm going to measure up from that string 66.9. Same thing on here on the string. And then I should be able to set my 2x12 ridge on top of those going across. And it should be centered and all that. And that's kind of what I'm doing now. But the way I can do it by myself, there's different ways to build pole barns. I built them with trusses and 2x10s in between them and all that. That's traditionally how they do it because it's cheap and fast, but I'm gonna have attic space up above, so I don't want to use joists. So when I'm doing rafters like this, I like to do a bunk of rafters in the front, the middle, and the back first before I mark out the rest of them. That way it just kind of keeps everything square and plumb and all that. And then what I do is I get one that fits right and measured out, and then I just duplicate it and I trace them out, kind of like stairs or rafters, or just copy them over and over. And on this one, it was only like a 1/4 inch off at the very end, so it wasn't bad at all. That's pretty normal for framing, and the sheeting went on pretty nice. Packing these 2x12 16 footers up the ladder alone is kind of a pain, but the other way of building them is with trusses, and I'd have to have winch boxes and definitely help, or I guess you could use a crane to get them set that way. But as hard as this is to do alone, it enables me to work alone, and I didn't have help or the means to wait for 3 or 4 months for trusses to can't see it in this shot, but when I threw this ratchet strap, it swung around and grappled onto itself. It was like I meant to do it. All I'm doing here is marking 16 on center, which means I'm taking my square and tape measure and every 16 inches marking with a vertical line. That way the rafter can sit right on that vertical line, and they're all 16 on center.
Came and went, and not one of them was fully spent. A good man's life, he was chiseling.
Unfortunately, I was listening to the radio for the duration of this project, and I don't want to get a copyright strike.